We don't know, yes or no, if the laptop
I don't have
was
any
yours.
idea. I have no idea.
So
whether-
could have been yours.
Of course, certainly. There could be a laptop out there that was stolen from me. There could be that I was hacked. It could be that it was Russian intelligence. It could be that it was stolen from me.
Yes, the crackhead, stripper, knocker-upper, Russian hooker, Dayton, dead brother's widow, Dayton, lying on gun form, son of the President of the United States, Hunter Biden. He's quite a guy, isn't he? Yeah, I was talking to CBS News. Yeah, I gotta know. My laptop, how could I know if it's me? It's just all the videos that I made of me with hookers and passing out in bathtubs and put them on my laptop, which I then dropped off at a repair shop in a passive-aggressive act against my father, who I've resented since I was a small child. Amazing. I'm going to get into that, and also in Connecticut, they've got some Democrats that hate the police. And when a police officer was murdered by a Puerto Rican guy who also had a murder conviction in Puerto Rico, and he made his way to Connecticut, killed a state trooper, crashing his car into him, killing the state trooper. And yesterday they had a ceremony for him, but the Democrats refused to fly the thin blue line flag and instead had a gay pride flag for the funeral. The man's wife and the state trooper's wife and children were wondering why they didn't have the thin blue line flag. Turns out the Democrats say that the thin blue line flag is a sign of hate and white supremacy. That's what the Democrats say. They have a Democrat mayor there, Ken Lesser, and they have Democrat city council member, a woman who is very proud of the city for not flying a thin blue line flag because it's a symbol of hate. Isn't that amazing? And we have another school today where they refuse to allow children. Well, they don't want children to have to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, any of that, because America is a symbol of hate. These people are a symbol of hate, is what it is, and they're circling the drain of human history, we can hope, because if they're not, then we all are. It's going to be one way or the other. But let me get back to the extraordinary story of the Hunter Biden laptop, which the Democrats have lied to us about, and the communists have lied to us about this laptop, including Barack Obama's pick to be the director of the Central Intelligence Agency, John Penitentiary Face Brennan, and that cabal of miscreants that he travels with. They're anti-American, and John Brennan and these other CIA and intelligence officials, extraordinary stuff. They signed onto that letter, 51 of them did, saying that the Hunter Biden laptop had all the earmarks and all the hallmarks, that Brennan also used the word hallmarks inappropriately, of Russian disinformation. And they accused Rudy Giuliani, the great American, the mayor of New York City that saved them from themselves when they were committing suicide and turning into taxi driver on every street of every block of New York. But never mind that. They blame Rudy, and he's working with the Russians, and the Republicans are working with the Russians. It's Russian collusion. The lies are so spectacular that the Nazi, Hitler's propaganda minister, Joseph Goebbels, never would have become this shameless, but the Democrats are today, and that's not even an embellishment. It's so extraordinary. The lies are so gigantic, just amazing. But we've got story after story today because now the laptop is being used by the Justice Department. That's Joe Biden's corrupt Justice Department, Merrick Garland's corrupt Justice Department. Using Hunter Biden's laptop, the FBI had the laptop a year before we knew that the FBI had the laptop. Amazing stuff. So the FBI knew all along that it was Hunter Biden's laptop, and all of the contents therein were Hunter Biden's contents. Everybody knew that at the FBI and at the Justice Department. I knew it because I looked at the contents of the laptop. I didn't have my own copy of the laptop. You didn't have to have your own copy of the laptop or of the hard drive, even though the federal government, federal law enforcement, the FBI did, but they didn't reveal to the world. Oh, of course, the intelligence officials are lying to the American people, tampering in our presidential election. Pay no attention to any of that. Now, this is an organization, the Biden Justice Department, that has thrown Peter Navarro of the Trump White House in prison. They're trying to throw Donald Trump into prison for, 136 years or whatever it is. They announced yesterday that they are throwing Steve Bannon of the Trump White House in prison. And Peter Navarro and Steve Bannon are being thrown in prison for the same thing, for contempt of Congress, the same thing that Hunter Biden is obviously and clearly and unambiguously guilty of, and that is defying a congressional subpoena. But the difference is Hunter Biden has no reasonable, rational claim to executive privilege, as Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro at least arguably do, as advisors to the President of the United States. Now, Joe Biden may have brought, the crack into the White House or whatever, but Steve Bannon prison sentence. And here's how the left-wing media responds when the Democrats say, oh, yeah, Steve Bannon of the Trump team and Team Republican, Team America, he's going to prison because he defied a congressional subpoena, which again, Hunter Biden has done, and without consequence, just extraordinary. He's got to be thrown into prison for 100 years, and then Joe Biden has to be next because this is what the Democrats have done to the United States of America. So ABC News, with their headline, Judge orders ex-Trump advisor Steve Bannon to report to prison by July 1st, right? And that's because he defied a congressional subpoena claiming executive privilege as an advisor to the president. Hunter Biden defied a congressional subpoena holding a press conference in front of the Capitol, telling them all to shove it. Right? Now, Trump advisor Steve Bannon to report to prison by July 1st. Bannon was sentenced to 4 months in prison for contempt of Congress. Okay. Federal judge, Biden, Democrat judge, has ordered former Trump advisor, he's a Trump advisor, they admitted at ABC News, that gives him executive privilege, Steve Bannon to surrender to prison by July 1st, revoking his bail. The Department of Justice, the corrupt Department of Injustice under Joe Biden and Merrick Garland, had requested that Bannon begin his 4-month prison term in connection with his contempt of Congress conviction. U.S. District Judge Carl Nichols heard arguments Thursday in Washington, D.C. Following the judge's ruling, Bannon spoke to the cameras outside of the courthouse, reiterating his intent to appeal his conviction and attacking top officials at the Justice Department, as you might expect. All of this is about one thing, Bannon said, shutting down the MAGA movement, shutting down grassroots conservatives, shutting down President Trump, who they're also trying to imprison like the third world tree dwellers that they are. There's not a prison built or a jail built that will ever shut me up, Bannon said. Honestly, this is, Putin threw one of his primary political rivals in jail recently, you may recall. And honestly, Peter Navarro, who is in prison right now, and Hunter Biden is not. Isn't that amazing? Gosh. And he is in contempt of Congress. He was subpoenaed by Congress, and never mind that. I am telling you, and Peter Navarro was in conversations with the FBI, lives close to the FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C. I've met Peter Navarro. Great guy, squared away guy. And CNN was very excited to announce on May 19th, Peter Navarro begins serving prison sentence after historic contempt prosecution. Historic meaning unprecedented. To take a presidential advisor, a White House official, and charge them with defying a congressional subpoena, leading to a prison sentence. But never mind that. It's all about the big lie, and they're trying to put President Trump in prison. And now let's go to the stories because they're completely crazy about the laptop of Hunter Biden, which is now being used as evidence in the court case, the trial of Hunter Biden, right? Unbelievable. USA Today headline today, Trump right about Hunter's laptop from hell. Though, and they've got to have a though, a comma, though, Biden claimed Russian disinformation. Hey, wait a minute. USA Today is trying to catch up. It turns out that the laptop was once widely denounced. It is being used as evidence by federal prosecutors to prove the president's son lied about his drug use on a gun form. And Ingrid Jacques at USA Today has this embarrassing, I mean, it's got to be humiliating to the Fourth Estate if the American news media, the most corrupt institution in America, if they had any sense of self-respect or honor, God forbid. And USA Today today says, let me take you back nearly 4 years to late October of 2020. Then President Donald Trump President Donald Trump and candidate Joe Biden duked it out in their second and final presidential debate before the election. And that's the one where on the debate stage, Joe Biden lied to the American people. Oh, well, I mean, he told in part the truth that 51 intelligence, he said 50 because he gets everything wrong by a little bit. The 50 intelligence officials declared that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation. Remember when everything was Russian collusion and Russian disinformation? Trump made reference to the recently published New York Post story about Hunter Biden's now infamous laptop. They're calling it the laptop from hell, Trump said. How right was he? USA Today says today, 4 years too late. The laptop just made an official appearance in federal court this week. More on that shortly, she says. Now, I mean, honestly, the debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden it wasn't even the starting point, but the corrupt intelligence officials had already come out with their Felonious 51 letter running a CIA-style information operation against the American people on behalf of Biden and the Democrats.
There are 50 former national intelligence folks.
51.
Who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plan. They have said that this has all the five former heads of the CIA, both parties, say what he's saying is a bunch of garbage. Nobody believes it except his and his good friend Rudy Giuliani.
Really, Giuliani can't pronounce anything. The man is severely mentally impaired. He has no business being president of the United States. The communists have taken over the United States and the Democrat Party. And that was one of the big lies. And then you may remember former CIA director and Communist Party voter John Brennan was all over the news media telling everybody the big lie that only a communist agent would feed to the American people. His name is John Brennan. He's known as Penitentiary Face.
I think there are a lot of issues related to this New York Post story that reportedly referenced Hunter Biden emails. And as I and several of my former colleagues have pointed out publicly, that it does bear the hallmarks of Russian disinformation.
You know, you are the Russian disinformation. You are the propagandist. You are the Russian agent. You are the Communist Party voter. You are John Brennan. You should be in shackles, leg shackles. They put Peter Navarro in leg shackles and leg restraints when they arrested him at Reagan Airport. Even though he'd said, you guys want to interview me, I'll come down to FBI headquarters. Like, no, you don't have to do that. Then they tapped into his communications, found his travel plans, ambushed him at Reagan Airport, put him in handcuffs and leg restraints, and dragged him away from the airport because they're fascists. Let's call them what they are. And I've got a lot more on this because the madness continues. The lie is so big that no one would dare not believe it, as their boy Joseph Goebbels famously said. You know, Father's Day is almost here, in case you haven't been tracking your calendar closely enough, and you might be struggling to find the perfect gift for the man who has everything. Well, the solution is simple. Give them the unforgettable experience of Omaha Steaks, because a world-class dad deserves world-class steaks. You know, the Father's Day experts at Omaha Steaks, they've made it easy to put a smile on Dad's face. Hand-selected gift packages starting at just $89 American dollars. When you go to omahasteaks.com and use the promo code PLANT at checkout. With Omaha Steaks, possibilities are endless. Flavor, variety, value, amazing stuff. Guaranteed to make Dad happy. He's going to love every bite. Time is running out, though. Father's Day is coming. Don't wait to the last minute. Go to omahasteaks.com. Use the promo code PLANT, P-L-A-N-T-E, at checkout for unforgettable gifts and great savings for Father's Day. There's one thing that Omaha Steaks knows, and that is that dads want steaks. So visit omahasteaks.com today. Shop the gift package starting at just $89 when you use my promo code PLANT at checkout. Go now before it's too late, though. A minimum order may be required. Please visit omahasteaks.com for details. Yes, sir. Yeah, this lie is so big. Russian collusion, and Rudy Giuliani is colluding with Russia. And they're putting Steve Bannon in jail for doing what Hunter Biden did. And they put Peter Navarro, he's in prison right now for saying, no, I've got executive privilege as an advisor to the president. Hunter Biden does the same thing, defying a congressional subpoena. No big deal. And then let's get to the media and this laptop thing that is now the centerpiece of the federal government's evidence in the Hunter Biden trial. A lie so big.
Did I hear you correctly say that perhaps he was influenced by Gurgle?
Now, our beloved news media lied to us 1,000 times about the Hunter Biden laptop. And this great 20-minute reel, we should post the 20-minute reel on our social media, a little slice of that 20-minute reel.
This looks like your classic disinformation campaign.
Eric O'Neill is a former FBI operative.
Steal the information with a cyber attack, get the emails from Hunter Biden's account, and then put them on these laptops that are left at a repair store.
Sounds legitimate.
And that's how the information is now laundered into the public.
Who do you think is behind this?
Well, the Russians would be my number one
The
guess.
Russians. He's an FBI guy. You got to believe him. It's the news media. You got an anchor lady. They pay her to be a journalist. And got an FBI operative, whatever the hell an FBI operative is. And, well, my guess would be the Russians. Well, you should be in handcuffs and dragged away. And the Felonious 51. Honestly, since everybody's going to prison, we're going to need gulags.
Was that your laptop?
For real, I don't know.
I know, but you know that this
I
is
really don't know.
Okay.
The answer is.
You don't know yes or no if the laptop
I don't have
was
any
yours.
idea. I have no idea.
So
whether or
could
not.
have been yours.
Of course, certainly. There could be a laptop out there that was stolen from me. There could be that I was hacked. It could be that it was Russian intelligence. It could be that it was stolen from me.
It could be that you dropped it off at a laptop repair shop in Delaware and you're such a crackhead that you forgot to pick it up because you're a drunk and a fool. And you were kicked out of the Navy for repeated cocaine use and you knocked up a stripper in Washington, D.C. and denied paternity and the Russian hookers. And yeah, it could be all of that, or it could be the lies are so big. And then we had, again, I just played the audio of John Brennan, the Communist Party voting CIA director under Barack Obama. Oh, it's Russian. It has all the hallmarks of Russian disinformation. And they got another gigantic senior intelligence official, James Clapper, who I think used to be on our side, and then gave up on all that because the commies are here. James Clapper.
To me, this is just classic textbook Soviet-Russian tradecraft at work. All of a sudden, two and a half weeks before the election, this laptop appears somehow without emails on it without any metadata. It's all very curious.
Yeah, it's classic. So you know what's classic Soviet tradecraft? You and what you're saying, and John Brennan and what he's saying. Unbelievable. And then, of course, the the biggest liar in Washington, which is like being the fastest car at the Indianapolis 500. Adam Schiff, also known as the Inchworm, and he went on television again and again and again to lie.
The origins of this whole smear are from the Kremlin, and the president is only too happy to have Kremlin help in trying to amplify it.
President Trump was president at the time that Adam Schiff slandered the president of the United States. He should use the Justice Department against his political enemies when he becomes president, shouldn't he? Isn't that what the norm is now? And I don't really believe that. And President Trump was asked about that and had a great answer, actually. Adam Schiff, he was making the rounds from one outfit to another.
This whole smear on Joe Biden comes from the Kremlin. Meeting with an agent of the Kremlin narrative from the Kremlin propaganda. Agents of the Kremlin stand up to the Kremlin, the president, and the Kremlin.
Yeah. This is how much we were being lied to by members of Congress, Democrat members of Congress. I think every single one of them is a filthy liar. And oh, by the way, they should all be in Chicago today because today begins in Chicago. The communist parties, I'm not making this up, this is true. Find out, I have all their websites right in front of me right now on Al Gore's amazing internet. In fact, I Googled Communist Party Chicago 32nd Annual Convention. The Communist Party's been around for 103 years in the United States, but it's their 32nd annual convention because they're getting more popular thanks to the Democrat Party. Communist Party USA website. Join us for the 32nd annual convention. Communist Party USA, forward together. Communist Party USA 32nd annual. And it goes on and on. And there's not a news story in the mix. It's quite amazing. I'm looking for it on the internet. I clicked on news, and it sends me to the Communist Party USA and the People's World website, and then again, Communist Party USA and People's World again, and then Communist Party USA. These are the websites that stack up for you. I think the algorithm has been tailored in their favor. Then Communist Party USA, it goes on and on with these, and not a single news story about it, just the invitations and their propaganda websites. It's good to be a Democrat, isn't it? And Solid Net, they've got People's World and the Communist Party convening in Chicago. Marxist Internet Archive has got stories on it too. The Communist Party is meeting. We call them the Democrat Party, but they're having their convention in Chicago, which coincidentally is the same city where the Democrat Party is having their convention. When is that? Is that next month or the month after? This summer they're having their convention in Chicago as well. Isn't that amazing? Communist Party USA Delegates Convention gather in Chicago June 7 to June 9. Work on the convention and amazing stuff. This is your Communist Party having their annual convention in Chicago. The Poor People's Campaign. They want to make everybody poor. They're on a campaign to make everybody poor. And the Felonious 51, one of them was an Obama administration campaign official that was made chief of staff to the CIA director in the Barack Obama administration. He had no intelligence background at all. His name is Jeremy Bash, and he is now the ex-husband of CNN's Dana Bash.
This looks like Russian intelligence. This walks like Russian intelligence. This sounds like Russian intelligence. Every intelligence professional I've been talking to, Mika, says this is a Russian intelligence disinformation campaign.
He wouldn't know anything about what looks like Russian intelligence. He's been a Democrat wanker all his adult life, and married Dana Bash. Didn't work out for all range of reasons. They're divorced. Never mind that. President Trump went on 60 Minutes with Leslie Stahl, and it came up, hey, Joe Biden's got this scandal going on with the laptop where he's the big guy who gets 10%, and they have all these shell companies, and they're taking in millions from Chinese and Ukrainian and Russian interests, by the way. President Trump with Leslie Stahl, it's good to be a Democrat.
and he's in the midst of a scandal.
He's not.
And he's taking...
He's not.
Of course he is,
no,
Leslie.
Come on.
Of course he is. It's the biggest, second biggest
Turned
scandal.
heel,
The
coy.
biggest scandal was when they spied on my campaign. They spied on my campaign,
There's
Leslie.
no real evidence of that.
Of course there is.
No.
It's all over the place.
No real evidence.
Leslie,
Sir,
they spied on my campaign and they got caught.
Can I say something? You know, this is 60 Minutes.
Uh-huh.
And we can't put on things we can't
No,
verify.
you won't put it on because it's bad for Biden.
We can't
Look, let
put
me tell
on
you.
things we can't verify.
Leslie.
You can't verify that these videos are of Hunter Biden, that these emails are going to Tony Bobulinski and other people in the Biden family orbit. These photos of Hunter Biden passed out in a bathtub with a cracked pipe in his mouth, you can't verify that these things are real. Did you go to the Mac repair shop in Delaware? That man has had to vanish from the face of the earth. His business was destroyed. He doesn't own his business anymore, and he had to disappear. Tara Reid, who was sexually assaulted digitally, internally by Joe Biden when she was a staffer of his on Capitol Hill. The news media hit her in the back of the head with a shovel and buried her in a shallow grave near Las Vegas. She had to flee the country. She actually moved to Russia, ironically. Amazing. President Trump with Leslie Stahl. And honestly, I've known Leslie Stahl for a very long time. I haven't seen her a lot lately. But, I first met her when I was a teenager coming from a CBS News family. Leslie Stahl and Donald Trump.
I think it's one of the biggest scandals I've ever seen, and you don't cover it. You want to talk about...
Well, because it can't be verified.
You want to talk about insignificant things.
I'm telling you.
Of course it can be verified. Excuse me, they found the laptop. Leslie.
Can't be verified.
What can't be verified?
The laptop.
Why do you say that?
Because
even the
it's
family
verified.
hasn't... The family on the laptop, he's gone into hiding. For 5 days, he's gone into hiding.
He's preparing for your debate.
Oh, it's taken him 5 days to prepare? I doubt it.
It is so good to be a Democrat, isn't it? The news media has got your back no matter what. And we will post this on social media, but there's a 20-minute video of the news media and the Democrats on the news media, and then the news media again because they are having sex with each other in a hot tub every day. And they're lying to the American people. This is one of the biggest lies ever perpetrated. Oh, the Hunter Biden laptop. Not only is it not Hunter Biden's laptop, when it so obviously is, and no one with two brain cells to rub together would ever look at what we saw in the New York Post reporting and say, well, that looks like Russian disinformation. That's not Hunter Biden's laptop. It couldn't have been more obvious from the get-go, and anybody with a brain larger than a squirrel brain would be obvious. I am telling you. We'll post this 20-minute video so you can share with friends and family. All right, let's grab a phone call, Michael. Let's go to Marco calling from Springfield, Virginia. Marco, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris, thanks for taking my call. Hey, I want to say I saw Corey Hills, former Special Forces guy, now a congressman in Florida, on Maria Bartiromo last week, and he was livid, talking about how the Republicans need to stop talking and start investigating these 51, or should I say 50 signatories. Number one, the January 6th committee. Number two, Hillary Clinton. Number three, who should already be in jail. This is nonsense. It's like, stop talking the game, okay, and start doing. These people need to go to jail. They need to pay the price. And, that goes for the judge, too, in the Trump trial. But it's so frustrating to watch all this talk, and then it's just the same old, same old, same old. So either do something or stop talking about it.
Years and years, Marco, years have gone by. I mean, this is 2020 that all of this started. And I don't know if you recall this, Marco, but I mean, first of all, the laptop was and the New York Post reporting on it, Miranda Devine, just outstanding, should have won the Nobel Peace Prize or whatever journalistic award you can win for breaking giant news stories that affect the trajectory of human history. Great stuff by the New York Post. And they were smeared and slandered and slimed by people that call themselves journalists, and it was a lot of hooey. And when I got a hold of it, Marco, I was like, well, I mean, look at this. The evidence is just falling through the ceiling tiles and hitting you in the head. Sure. It's impossible to not be aware of the fact that this is obviously, and Hunter Biden's laptop and all the contents therein are Hunter Biden's laptop contents, and the store owner who had to go into hiding and his business is dead because the Democrats destroyed him, right? It was all obviously true on its face. And then, Marco, when the Felonious 51 came out with this letter, we were live on the air when it came out, and I grabbed it. We printed it out. I was reading it live on the air as soon as I got a hold of it. I didn't even have a chance to digest it before reading it live on the air. And as I was reading it, I covered, as you know, Marco, I covered the intelligence community for 10 years, and I was assigned to the Pentagon. My office as a newsman was in the Pentagon for 10 years. And as I was reading this letter from the Felonious 51 live on the air, I immediately identified the BS factor. I don't know if you were here that day, but I immediately said, oh, it has all the earmarks. And I said, oh, listen to the weasel words they've used here. This gives them plausible deniability going forward, but the headlines will read, 51 intelligence officials declare Hunter Biden's laptop story, the news reporting, to be Russian disinformation. And the next day, in fact, the same day, those headlines were everywhere. The headlines were lies. The liars in the lying intelligence community who really belong in handcuffs, they lied to us. I spotted the lie at first blush, first read of that document. I nailed that, and it's not like me, I'm right about everything, because anybody with two brain cells would be right knowing that it's Hunter Biden's laptop, that the very reliable, normal laptop repair store owner was just credible and nothing but credible. And it was all obviously true. The reporting by the New York Post was all obviously true. Great reporting. And it was, I can see right through bad reporting too. This was really strong reporting, great reporting. And then the Felonious 51 with this letter was an information. Now, you're a career military guy, Marco. Marco and I know each other, been on sea cruises, Marco has, and
to Normandy.
And to Normandy together, that's right. And and I know, and the American people know, as Bob Dole used to say, that this is one of the biggest lies that has been perpetrated in modern American history.
Yep. I saw excerpts. I forget what station it was. Might have been Newsmax, might have been Fox. Saw excerpts of that laptop while they were saying it was Russian disinformation. I'm looking at Hunter Biden talking to a Russian prostitute saying how her father's going to run for president and he can't afford to this, and that. And I'm like, wait a minute. Is this before Charlottesville where, he had to run because of the white supremacists and blah, 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 blah? It was like he knew darn well why he was going to run. The guy's full of baloney. And I'll tell you, I trail this all the way back to Ross Perot, who ran as a third-party candidate. You gave us the Clintons, and we've been stuck with them ever since, okay? You got George Snuffleupagus, you got MSLSD, and all these other clowns that can't tell the truth that their reputations depended on it. And if it wasn't for people like you, Chris, and good conservative talk and TV stations, they would be hoodwinking the entire country.
Well, they're doing a pretty good job as it is. Marco, thanking you. Great to hear your voice. God bless. Saluting you, career Army officer. And that's career Army, and that's just wonderful. Marco, thank you very much. You know that the best-selling Eden Pure Thunderstorm air purifier uses Oxy technology that helps quickly destroy many viruses, odors, mold spores, and more in the air, in your home, in your office. Thousands of 5-star reviews online. It works like a champ. We've got 2 of them at home. Any smell will vanish after just a few seconds with the thunderstorm being on. Odors from litter boxes, trash cans, cigarette smoke, even dirty diapers and leftist protesters are no match for the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. The powerful thunderstorm sends out these O3 molecules, seek out, help destroy these odors. Molecules even go behind and under furniture. Nothing can hide from the thunderstorm, and no filters to buy and replace over and over again. saving you money and hassle and scheduling. They're small. You can hold one in your hand. They're only this big. So start enjoying fresh, clean air in your home, in your office. Get several thunderstorms because right now you can save $200 because you hang out with me on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack for a whole home protection. You get 3 units for under $200, so you can put one in your basement, your bedroom, your teenager's room. Come on, bring one to the office. Clean, fresh air. That's what it's about. All you have to do is go to EdenPureDeals.com. Use the discount code CHRIS3, CHRIS and the number 3, to save $200. That's EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is CHRIS3. Yes, sir. A lie so big. And keep in mind, a lie told once remains a lie. A lie told 1,000 times becomes the truth. That's another quote from their boy, Joseph Goebbels. The most corrupt institution in America is the American news media. An article from Tip Insights, actually posted by Republicans in Congress back in 2022. A shock poll, 8 in 10 think Biden laptop cover-up changed election. Most following the story want the Attorney General to appoint a special counsel to investigate the laptop-related issues. Joe Biden's corrupt Justice Department and the corrupt Attorney General Merrick Garland did not do that. A whopping 79% of Americans suggest President Donald Trump likely would have won re-election if voters had known the truth about the Hunter Biden laptop, that it was real and not Russian disinformation, as intelligence officials aligned with Joe Biden falsely led the public to believe, a new national poll reveals. Survey of 1,335 adults conducted earlier this month by the New Jersey-based Technometrica Institute of Policy and Politics. The vast majority of those following the issues said they believe the laptop is real. Only 11% still believe it was created by Russia. That didn't keep the media and the Democrats from continuing to falsely toe the party line, just like their boy Goebbels would advise them to do.